Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt like today was just gonna suck? Every day I wake up here. Anyway, if you've ever had a day like that, then this video is for you. I have had a miserable year, so I am ready to eat some things to hopefully support my mood a little bit. You know, I need something where if I don't feel like getting out of bed, I can still eat, I can still feel full, and, you know, feel good about life. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna eat some emotional support snacks. I'm gonna be talking about what I think defines an emotional support snack, because not every snack is an emotional support snack. 10 pounds of chocolate, not an emotional support snack. You might think it is, but I have an argument for why it's not, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. The other thing we're going to do at the end of this video is talk about the Pantry of Shame. But before we get into that, what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into the 8 emotional support snacks that I eat when I'm having a bad effing day. I never have bad days. And I'm very happy for you, Mafenzi, that you don't ever have bad days. I have a lot. Like I said, this whole year, I don't even know. The year before, I don't know if it's just all the bad news that keeps circling around or just generally getting older. I'm getting older and I feel older, and every day it feels like it's the last day to like do something important with my life. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you and what you need to get through a day. So before we start pulling out the best emotional support snacks, let's talk about what makes a good emotional support snack, because I've thought about this a lot, and I don't think you could just eat a pound of chocolate and call that an emotional support snack. I don't think it works that way. I think there's a very specific definition of a good emotional support snack. It has to support you, has to support your emotion. You know, it has to hit a couple of key things. So let's talk about it. Excuse me, Bearverly. My God, did you really make a chart for this? Yes, I did make a chart for this because we're going to be ranking several different snacks, and we need to make sure that we're ranking them on the things that make a good emotional support snack. So first of all, what makes a good emotional support snack? That it is fast and easy. If you don't even feel like getting out of bed, you do not want to have to spend 30 minutes making yourself a snack. It has to be super fast, it has to be super easy to make, and it has to be also the cleanup has to be very, very easy. Like, you know, you shouldn't have to try that hard at all to get your snack. It should be fast and easy. The second thing that it needs to be is fulfilling and nourishing. And I know that sounds a little ridiculous. Like, how can you have something fast and easy that's also fulfilling and nourishing? Well, you can. There are definitely snacks out there that I think hit this. And the reason I say you need this is because if you're having a real bad day, and maybe this is the only thing you eat all day, it should fill you up. It should give you a little bit of nourishment, make you feel, you know, like you've eaten something substantial and that you can at least get through the rest of the day. So it has to be fulfilling and nourishing. The last thing it needs to do is tickle your brain. It is an emotional support snack, and it has to give you a little bit of dopamine. That means normally it's sweet, or it's salty, or it's rich, or it's spicy. It has to do something where it like jolts your brain into feeling something a little bit. So those are the 3 things that a good emotional support snack should have. As we're trying these, we're going to consider the emotional use case for each one of them, because I think different snacks have different use cases. Some snacks are for when you're just feeling a little down. Some snacks are for when you literally can't get out of bed. We're going to talk about each. So let's go get the first snack. Snack number 1, Uncrustables, or in this case, the off-brand Crust-Offs. So let's talk about this a little bit. If you've never had an Uncrustable, it is typically a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that is frozen. The edges are crimped. You pull it out, you let it thaw out a little bit, and then you eat it. It's a super easy peanut butter and jelly sandwich for when you don't feel like making your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So let's talk about this. Is this snack fast and easy? The one thing about this snack is that when you take it out of the freezer, you gotta wait for a while for it to thaw out. Now, that a little bit of time that you're waiting on it, that's a little bit more time that you're thinking about how good life is, right? You've got this Uncrustable you're waiting on. It's gonna get better because you're gonna eat some really good food. And I will say, once it's thawed out and it's ready to eat, it is extremely easy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, fast and easy, I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. A full 5 points because it is extremely easy, but only 1 point for being fast. Once it's thawed out, yes, it's very fast to open up the package and eat it, but you do have to wait about 30 minutes for it to thaw out. So it's not super fast. For fulfilling and nourishing, it's got 11 grams of protein per sandwich, which is fantastic. 300 calories, not a ton of calories, but enough enough to get you through a day if this is the only thing you eat. Ideally, you're eating more calories than this, but this is absolutely better than nothing. It's got a little bit of calcium in it, a little bit of iron, a little bit of potassium. Not a huge value on all those things, but it's certainly better than eating nothing, and it's certainly better than eating a pound of chocolate. So for the fulfilling and nourishing scale, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think, it's lacking a little bit in the calorie front, but for the most part, this'll get you through the day. Brain tickle. Now, does this give you dopamine? You get sweet from the jelly, you get savory from the peanut butter. Personally, I like to eat these still a little bit of frozen, and that gives me a brain tickle to eat something super cold like that. But if you eat this totally thawed out, then it's basically just like a peanut butter and jelly. And if you like peanut butter and jellies, I would say, yeah, that'll tickle your brain. For this one, I'm going to give brain tickle a 7 out of 10. It's not particularly rich, not particularly sweet or salty, but it's a good middle ground. Best emotional use case for the Uncrustable. I think this one is for when you can't get out of bed. Because it is so easy to literally grab this out of your freezer, take it back to your bed, and then, you gotta wait for it a little bit, but you don't have to get back out of bed. Once it's ready, you just eat it. Super easy. Clean up super easy because it comes in the little plastic case. You can just throw that away. So this is a great one for when you literally can't get out of bed and when you need a little bit of extra time to think about how can I improve my situation, Next up, our number 2 snack is a cup noodle snack, specifically the hot and spicy chicken flavor from Maruchan. And if you've ever had ramen noodles, you know exactly what this is like. These hot and spicy ones are particularly tasty. They give you that little spicy punch. So let's talk about it a little bit. How fast and easy is a hot and spicy chicken instant lunch cup noodle? Well, there are a few steps you gotta follow. You gotta open it up. You gotta fill it with hot water. You gotta wait for a little bit. So there is a little bit of effort. That said, it's still exceptionally easy. You don't have to necessarily boil water. If you've got a kettle, you can just do it that way. Even if you've got a coffee maker, you can just run some hot water through it and there you go. And then you just gotta sit and let it go. So I would say on the fast, easy scale that this is a 7 out of 10. How fulfilling and nourishing is this? Well, let's take a look. This is 290 calories, so it's a little less than the Uncrustable was. You really don't get a lot of your potential vitamins. So there's some iron in there, there's some potassium in there. So for the most part, this is not super substantial, but it's definitely better than, again, eating a piece of chocolate. I would give this a 7 out of 10 on the nourishing scale. It could have some more calories in it. It could have some more potential vitamins in here. But when you're eating nothing else, I think this will hit. For the brain tickle, this particular flavor, I think definitely has great brain tickle. It is spicy. It is salty. It is rich. I'm going to give this particular flavor a 9 out of 10. Now, if you get one of the other flavors, they might be a little bit, the shrimp flavor, for instance, is a little less rich, but this one, 9 out of 10. Get this flavor. It's so good. So what's the best emotional use case for the hot and spicy cup noodle? This one I see being fantastic for when you just broke up with your boyfriend and you're personally feeling a little hot and spicy. This is what you need. Or maybe you're feeling a little sad from the breakup and you need to get hot and spicy. You got to reclaim yourself. Hot and spicy. Break up fodder. You had a bad breakup? Hot and spicy cup noodle. Make you feel better. Let's get the next snack. All right, our number 3 snack is the hand pie. This one is the mini cherry version. If you've never had one of these before, these remind me of my grandma's house. It's literally a sweet crust with pie filling on the inside. It's like eating a pie. I love it. So let's talk about it a little bit. How fast and easy are these little hand pies? There's literally no work involved. You grab one and you open it and you eat it. So on the fast, easy scale, 10 out of 10. How nourishing is it? Now, because this is mostly sugar and pie filling, it's not crazy. One pie here is 210 calories, less than our Uncrustable, less than our cup noodle. When we look at our vitamins, there's nothing. There's a little bit of iron. That's it. So these aren't super duper filling. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Not the most filling item in the world. Brain tickle. Do these tickle the brain? Absolutely. That sugary sweet pie filling is so good. And then the crust too has like this kind of sugary crunchiness to it. These absolutely tickle my brain. And again, they remind me of my grandma. So there's also that kind of special part of that as well. So I would say for a brain tickle, this gives you a 10 out of 10. Best emotional use case. I think these are great for when you're feeling lonely, when you're sad, when you're missing your family, you're missing your friends. And maybe this is just me again, because it reminds me of my grandma's house. It just reminds me of being around family, being happy like that. So I think this is for when you're feeling lonely. It'll give you a little pep up. So that is our mini cherry pies. Let's grab the next snack. All right, our number 4 snack is Idahoan 4-cheese mashed potatoes. I think these are great emotional support snacks. Let's talk about why. Are they fast and easy? These cup ones are super fast and easy. So you add water, you microwave for a minute and 30 seconds. That's it. Yes, you have to do a little bit of putting together because you got to throw the water in there, but it's not much because there is a little bit of work involved in getting it in the microwave. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 on the fast, easy scale. Is it fulfilling and nourishing? Let's take a look. So 1 cup here is 160 calories. So not super high on the calorie count. When you're looking at like calcium and iron and potassium, it does have some of that 6% calcium, 4% iron, 8% potassium. So that's fantastic. Should help you get through the day a little bit. It's also got a lot of carbs, 29 grams of carbs. While this is so far the lowest calorie count item, I do think there's something super fulfilling about a potato. All those carbs, plus you get some of that extra nutrition from the different vitamins and everything. But I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 on the fulfilling / nourishing front. I think it still fills you up a little bit. Now let's talk about the brain tickle. Mashed potatoes, absolutely, especially the cheesy kind, totally hit that sort of rich, creamy warmth, you know, that deep warmth that just like fills you up and gives you a little hug from the inside. That's what I think about when I think about mashed potatoes. So this absolutely tickles my brain. I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 on the brain tickle. For emotional use case, I think mashed potatoes are great for when you've had a really sharp day. And what I mean by that is like you got fired and you didn't know it was going to happen, or the news itself has like it catches you off guard. It's really sharp. You weren't expecting it. Something terrible's happened and you just need something soft, something warm, something fluffy to kind of just settle yourself into. So I'm going to say this takes the edge off of a sharp day. Let's grab the next snack. Number 5, we've got oatmeal cream pies. Oh, little Debbie, saucy little bitch. Oatmeal cream pies. How fast and easy is an oatmeal cream pie? Well, hell, you pop open the box, you pop it out of the package. Insanely fast and easy. Really, it's about as fast and easy as the ham pies. We gave that a 10 out of 10, so we'll do the same here. 10 out of 10. How fulfilling or nourishing are these? Now, these are definitely on the smaller side. So when we look at calories, we've got 170 calories. There's really nothing else going on in terms of, you know, calcium, iron. There's a little bit of iron in there. There's not a ton of carbs, 26 grams, not too bad, but not a ton of carbs. Most of it's going to be coming from the sugars. So these are not the most fulfilling thing on the list. That said, I think mentally they're fulfilling because you have the oatmeal part of the cookie plus the cream, and oatmeal is just a very filling thing. This still feels more filling to me than it actually is. That said, it is, I think, the lowest on the list. We're going to have to give it a 5 out of 10 on the fulfilling and nourishing front. Brain tickle. Ooh, do these tickle my brain? I love them. It's not even savory, but the oatmeal part of the pie just like kind of does something in terms of savoriness with the sweet of the cream in the middle. I'm going to give these guys a 7 out of 10. They definitely tickle the brain. I personally love them. That said, I think there are other things on the list that tickle the brain a little bit more. Best emotional use case for an oatmeal cream pie. I think for this one, this is when you're just struggling a little bit. You're going to get through your day. You're getting up. You're getting ready to go to work. You're going to get there anyway, but you need a little something on the commute to your work. So you grab an oatmeal cream pie to eat on the drive. That's what I would use this for, is just a little boost to get through your day. A little boost from Little Debbie. Let's grab the next snack. All right, next up, we've got number 6, Lunchables. This one is the pepperoni pizza Lunchables. Let's talk about this one a little bit. Is this fast and easy? Well, depending on which Lunchable you get, there is always some component of you having to put it together a little bit. This one is the pizza one, so you got to layer all the pizza toppings on. The sandwich ones, the cracker ones, you got to layer all the cracker pieces together. Or you don't have to. It's a box. It's not a cup. You don't have to do what it tells you to do. You could literally open this up and just dump it all out in your mouth. Doesn't matter. So in terms of fast and easy, you grab it, you open it, and then you choose your adventure after that point. I would give this a 9 out of 10. Fulfilling and nourishing. This particular box is the full pack. So it's got the pizzas, the Capri Sun, the little candy bar. It's got 12 grams of protein, and altogether it is 400 calories. So this is meant to be a literal meal, a literal lunch. Maybe that's how they came up with the name Lunchable. So for this one in particular, I think this is very fulfilling and nourishing. Even the cracker ones where all you get is the crackers, I want to say those are still pretty fulfilling. They're meant to be a lunch. They're meant to hold you through the day. So this one I'm going to give also a 9 out of 10. I think this is probably the most fulfilling one we've had on the list so far. And two, looking at some of the different vitamins, 20% of your daily needed calcium, 15% of your daily needed iron, 15% of your daily needed vitamin A. So genuinely, this has a lot in it to get you through the day, to really fill you up. If this was the only thing you ate in a day, it wouldn't be a ton of calories, but it should fill you up and help boost you through the day. Brain Tickle. Now these pizza ones, there's something about eating a cold piece of pizza with like the cold cheese and the cold pepperonis. And I think that is truly, it's just because it's a different experience than like a standard slice of pizza. So for these pizza ones specifically, this really tickles my brain. The meat and cheese ones, there's less tickle there. Less dopamine coming from those, but there's still, you get the richness from the meat, the rich and saltiness from the cheese, and then you get the little, snack candy bar in there. I say these are quite a brain tickle. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 here as well. So what's the best use case for a Lunchable? I think this is when you literally just can't. You don't want to get up. You don't want to cook anything. You don't want to talk to anybody. You can't do anything. This, I think, will give you a reason to do something. You can put the pizza together if you want. You can build the little cracker sandwiches if you want. It gives you a little bit of a reason to do something instead of just laying and doing nothing. That said, even if you wanted to continue to lay around and do nothing, you could just literally dump this into your mouth directly. So I think this is for when you literally can't do anything. And I think I spelled literally wrong. Don't come for me. Let's grab the next snack. Number 7 snack, Pop-Tarts, or in this case, frosted toaster tarts, because I got the off-brand kind. They didn't have the on-brand chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts, and that's what I wanted. I really wanted the chocolate ones. Actually, I wanted the s'more ones, and they definitely didn't have that. So this was the next closest I could find. Close enough. Pop-Tarts, off-brand Pop-Tarts, they all kind of do the same thing. I think in this case, doing an off-brand is not a big deal. So let's talk about Pop-Tarts. Are they fast and easy? Absolutely. Similar to the hand pie, similar to the oatmeal cream pie. This is a grab and go scenario. You have literally nothing that you need to do here if you want to eat them untoasted. So that's kind of the caveat. If you do like your Pop-Tarts toasted and warm, you do have to go through the step of sticking them in the toaster. So up to you, kind of choose your own adventure. Because there is that extra step in case you want to toast them, I'm going to call these a 9 out of 10 on the fast and easy scale. Fulfilling and nourishing. Now, let's take a look. They consider a serving size 2 pastries. That's 2 that come in the little package. That's 340 calories. When we look down here, it actually has quite a bit of various vitamins and minerals that you need. It's got some iron, thiamine, niacin, folate, riboflavin, potassium, calcium. So it's got a lot going on in there to really boost you up, which is fantastic. And you could always grab 4 of these if you really wanted to get saucy. It's kind of up to you if you wanted to have more than one, but we'll go with their serving size, 340 calories. Pretty filling, not the most filling thing on the list, but with all those extra calcium, all that good stuff, I would say this is a solid 7 out of 10. Next up for Brain Tickle. Whether you do them cold or whether you put them in the toaster and you do them warm, they're rich, they're chocolatey, they're fruity, whatever version you get, and they're so easy to make. So these, I think, have a great brain tickle, that sweetness, and then like the edges of the pastry, just a little bit of savory. I would give these an 8 out of 10. So what's the best emotional use case for a Pop-Tart, or in this case, a toaster tart? For me, these are similar to the Little Debbie's, the oatmeal cream pies, where you just need a little bit of a boost. You're still planning to get on with your day, but you need, a snack on your drive to work, or a snack on your drive home from work, or, you're wrapping the day up and it's like, I just need a little bit of snack before bed. That's where this comes in for me. So I would say this one's very similar. This one's going to be also a little boost. You just need a little boost. Let's grab the last snack. Last but not least, number 8, we've got Cheez-Its, the most delicious cracker ever invented in my personal opinion. Let's talk about these. Are they fast and easy? Of course they are. It's a cracker. You open up the box and you eat as much as you want, as fast as you want, and when you're done, you close the box. I also, I specifically didn't put any chips on this list. That's because for me, chips are messy. If you try to eat a chip in bed, especially like big chips where you have to take 2 bites bites of it, then you end up with chip crumbs all over your bed. Cheez-Its are the perfect bite size. Pop one in your mouth. You don't make a mess. They're not like, super crummy or anything like that. So these are perfect, fast and easy. 10 out of 10. Let's talk about fulfilling and nourishing. So the Cheez-It box says that a serving size is 27 crackers, and that is 150 calories. That said, because this is a box of crackers, you can eat however much you want. You can eat 27 crackers. You can eat 127 crackers. And obviously, the more you eat, the more calories you're going to get out of it. There's not a ton in terms of vitamins. You've got a little bit of iron, a little bit of calcium, but every little bit helps. I think for the most part, these are just great for when you just need to grab some handfuls of something to get some calories in your body. So because this allows you to eat as much or as little as you really need to get through the day, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Brain tickle. These tickle my brain so good. Those big chunks of salt on there, they're phenomenal. If you need something salty, grab some Cheez-Its. Holy moly. And then, of course, cheese. Cheese is so rich. It's so easy to be addicted to. So this one for me is a 10 out of 10 brain tickle. I know not everybody might agree with that because it is just sort of a basic cracker situation, but the salt, when it hits just right on your tongue, so good. So what's the best emotional use case for a Cheez-It? Because this is sort of a open it up, grab as much as you want, do it whenever you want. This, I think, has any and all. You could use this if you couldn't get out of bed. You had a bad breakup. You're feeling a little lonely. You just need to take the edge off. You need a boost. You literally can't at all. I think this covers any and all emotional use case scenarios. I keep Cheez-Its with me genuinely all the time. Now that we've got everything ranked, let's kind of wrap it up and talk about what is the very best emotional support snack. Well, we've talked about a lot of snacks today, 8 in fact of my favorite ones, and when you can use those when you're having a bad day. Now, out of all of these, what was my personal favorite? Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. I literally just keep them in a bag and eat them whenever I'm feeling sad. They also have a little bit of a memory for me because I used to sit around with my grandma and eat them on the porch swing with her. So, and I think, the best emotional support snack has memories tied to it like that. So, we all have bad days. Sometimes you just need to eat a good snack to get through it. So take care of yourself, eat a good snack, and get through your day. Now, before you click away, don't click away. Hold on. We've got one more thing for you. Let me introduce something exciting. Ta-da! This is the Pantry of Shame. Now, you might be asking, what is a Pantry of Shame? Let me tell you. I would love to hear what your favorite emotional support snack is in the comments. Tell me, what's the one that you go to when you're having a terrible day and you can't get out of bed? I want to hear all of them. The good, the bad, the weird, the ugly. Tell me down in the comments. If you want to tell me also I'm dumb for my rankings, let me know. But tell me your favorite support snack. I'm going to read all those comments and we're going to pick the weirdest one to put in our Pantry of Shame. In about a couple of months after we've filled our Pantry of Shame with several different foods from various videos, I'm going to take all those foods and I'm going to try to make a dinner out of them or a breakfast or a lunch. We'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, let me know down in the comments your favorite emotional support snack. It might end up in the Pantry of Shame to be turned into a weird dinner later on down the line. So that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments if you liked this, if you want to see more of this, or if we should do anything different. We want to hear about it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Yes, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, babies.